Every single night while you sleep, your brain replays your memories, but here's what nobody tells you. It quietly deletes the ones it considers useless. You don't feel it happening. You don't remember what's gone, but entire pieces of your lived experience are being erased right now, without your permission, and science has only recently begun to understand how deep that erasure actually goes. Welcome back to MindAtlas, where we pull back the curtain on the things your mind is doing behind your own back. Let's start with something that should genuinely unsettle you. Researchers at the University of Toronto discovered that the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for forming and storing memories, doesn't just store things. It actively works to forget them. This isn't a glitch. This isn't damage. This is intentional biological architecture. Your brain was designed to erase you. The reason scientists believe this happens is because forgetting actually makes you smarter. By clearing out redundant or low-priority information, your brain sharpens its ability to generalize, to think abstractly, to solve new problems. But the troubling question that follows is this: who decides what's low priority? You don't. Some electrochemical process you have zero conscious access to makes that call, and it has been making it every night of your entire life. Here is where it gets darker. A study published in the journal Nature Neuroscience found that emotionally neutral memories are the first to go. The moments that carried no strong feeling, a conversation at a grocery store, a drive you took on an ordinary Tuesday, the face of someone you passed in a hallway, these dissolve first. But emotionally charged memories, particularly traumatic ones, get reinforced. Your brain literally strengthens the memories that hurt you and discards the ones that don't. Which means if you're trying to figure out why your past feels more like a highlight reel of painful moments than a balanced archive of your life, the answer is biological. Your nervous system is essentially curating a trauma museum while throwing everything else in the trash. And it gets stranger still. There is a phenomenon neuroscientists call memory reconsolidation, and once you understand it, you will never trust your own recollections again. Every single time you access a memory, you are not playing back a recording. You are reconstructing it from fragments, and during that reconstruction, the memory becomes temporarily unstable. It can be altered. It can absorb new information. It can be contaminated by your current emotional state, by what someone said to you 5 minutes ago, by a completely unrelated image you saw on your phone. When you put the memory back, you are not storing the original. You are storing the modified version. This happens every time. Psychologist Elizabeth Loftus spent decades proving this in experiments where she successfully implanted entirely false memories into research participants. Memories of being lost in a shopping mall as a child, memories of medical procedures that never happened. And the subjects didn't just recall these events. They recalled them with emotion, with sensory detail, with complete conviction. Roughly 25% of people in her studies couldn't be talked out of their false memories even after being told the truth. They insisted the fabricated event was real. So let's sit with that for a moment. If your memory rewrites itself every time you access it, and if false memories feel identical to real ones from the inside, then what exactly are you? What is the self that you've been building your entire identity around if the raw material, the memories, are this unstable, this corruptible, this fundamentally unreliable? This is not a philosophical riddle. This is a neurological reality that courts, therapists, and law enforcement agencies are only now beginning to fully reckon with. Eyewitness testimony, once considered gold standard evidence, has been the leading cause of wrongful convictions in the United States. Over 70% of convictions later overturned by DNA evidence involved eyewitness misidentification. People went to prison because someone's memory felt true, not because it was. Now let's go somewhere even most psychology channels won't take you. There is a condition called highly superior autobiographical memory, or HSAM, where individuals remember virtually every day of their lives in extraordinary detail. You might think that sounds like a superpower. It is not. People with HSAM report that living with perfect memory is closer to a curse. They cannot escape embarrassing moments from decades ago. They cannot stop reliving grief. Every painful experience remains as vivid and emotionally present as the day it happened. Time does not dull their wounds because forgetting, the very thing the rest of us do automatically, is what allows emotional healing to occur. Forgetting is not a weakness. It is a mercy. The fact that your brain wipes out painful details over time is one of the most compassionate things it does for you, even as it simultaneously locks in the core emotional imprint. The pain fades. The lesson stays. At least that is how it is supposed to work. But here is the part that should make you stop and think about how you spend your time. Your brain assigns emotional weight, and therefore memory priority, based on novelty and intensity. Routine experiences, no matter how many years you spend in them, compress. This is the reason that childhood summers felt like they lasted forever and your last 5 years feel like they passed in a single breath. When you were a child, almost everything was new. Every experience was being cataloged in a brain, encountering the world for the first time. The density of novel information made time feel expansive. As an adult, if you fall into routine, same commute, same conversations, same patterns, your brain stops encoding the days individually because it sees no reason to. It files them together as one undifferentiated block. You are not losing time. You are simply not creating memories in the first place. Those days are not being erased. They are never being written down. The terrifying implication is that it is entirely possible to live years of your life without generating a single memorable moment. Not because nothing happened, but because nothing new happened. And if the memories don't form, then experientially, from the perspective of your future self looking back, those years simply don't exist. This is why people in midlife crisis often describe a feeling that their life has slipped away from them. It has not slipped away in reality. It has slipped away in memory architecture. And the difference between someone who feels like they have lived a full life and someone who feels like they blinked and ended up old may come down entirely to how deliberately they pursued novelty and intensity of experience. There is one final piece to this that brings everything together in a way that is almost too strange to fully absorb. Your brain does not just forget individual memories. Under extreme stress, the brain can fragment entire sequences of experience in a process called dissociative amnesia. The mind, in an act of self-preservation, severs your conscious access to experiences it has judged too destabilizing to integrate. Those memories are not destroyed. They are locked away in neural structures you cannot voluntarily access. They can surface in nightmares, in physical sensations, in emotional reactions that seem to come from nowhere and connect to nothing. This is why trauma survivors sometimes cannot explain why certain sounds make them panic, or why certain faces fill them with dread, or why a smell can collapse them without warning. The memory is there. It is just below the floor of conscious thought, pressing up against the boards. Your brain is not a passive storage device. It is an active, opinionated, emotionally driven editor that rewrites your past, prioritizes your pain, discards your mundane moments, fragments what it cannot handle, and shapes the entire narrative of who you believe yourself to be. The person you think you are is assembled from a collection of documents that have been repeatedly altered, partially shredded, and selectively highlighted by a system operating almost entirely outside your awareness. The question that MindAtlas always comes back to is, what do you do with this? The answer isn't despair. The answer is intentionality. Create novel experiences. Interrupt your routines. Assign emotional weight to the moments you want to keep. Understand that memory is not something that happens to you. It is something that is built, and you have more say in that construction than you think. Your mind is mapping itself right now, in this moment, deciding what matters and what disappears. If this kind of deep, unsettling, mind-expanding content is what you come here for, then you already know what to do. Hit subscribe so you never miss a new map. We drop new territory every week, and trust us, you have barely scratched the surface of what your own mind is hiding from you.